Welcome back, Exiles. Are you looking for some big balls damage and girthy build that will push you deep to endgame? Well, here comes the big burly Molten balls deep jug build for you. In this build, we will have big balls damage,
A match of my might.
girthy armor,
Life is so brittle.
and big boy HP muscles ready to tackle all contents.
I'm first
Struggle or strangle.
by sight!
Our big damage will come from every 5th attack, which what we will call the Zenith.
Life is so brittle.
Your sentence is death! Force of all!
Stop and hunt.
Just playing this build will put hairs on your chest. So get ready. You'll need at least 50 divs to get the initial gears, and you'll probably need more if you want it to start to feel good. The core idea is the build: high attack speed, stack defenses through Juggernaut's armor and endurance charges, and stack strength for big boy damage. We will be using Replica Alberon's Warpath to convert all of our damage to chaos, making our balls irresistible to most enemies.
Annihilation. Incineration. Disintegration. Cleansing.
If you want girth, depth, and veiny muscles, this build is perfect for you. Let's jump balls first into the build guide. Let's take a look at our mandatory items. First is Replica Alberon's Warpath. This bad boy is crucial for the build. It increases our total strength and grants bonus chaos damage for every 80 strength we have. On top of that, they provide a solid amount of chaos resistance, good armor, and decent movement speed. A pair of these boots will usually cost around 20 to 30 divs, so be prepared to invest early to get your build rolling. Next up is Crown of Ice Hubris Circlet. This helmet provides a decent amount of flat accuracy and leech. More importantly, it synergizes perfectly with our build by allowing increases and reduction to spell damage to apply to attacks at 150% of their value. This mod is especially powerful because we are using Iron Will Keystone, which causes our strength to grant increased spell damage. With this helmet, increases to our spell damage is converted into even more attack damage at 150% effectiveness, allowing us to double dip the strength bonus and significantly boost both our Molten Strike hits and Zenith bursts. You can use the corrupted version of Crown of Ice with mana reservation efficiency if you want to push the build even further, but it will cost you around 30 divs and a kidney. A non-corrupted version is perfectly fine for poor exiles like us. Next up is Iron Fortress Crusader Plate. This body armor increases our strength by a significant amount and provides solid base armor for survivability. Iron Fortress also grants additional attack block chance based on your total strength, making you even girthier against physical attacks. However, it comes with a downside: you basically gonna get hit by spells all the time. Next is Astromantis Onyx Amulet. This amulet gives us the much needed attribute requirements for the build, as well as a huge amount of strength, further boosting both our survivability and damage output. We want to anoint Force of Darkness into the amulet, allowing us to penetrate enemies no DD. For our rings, we will be using 2 amethyst strings. Here, we want to prioritize strength first, followed by resistances and life. On one of the rings, it is highly recommended to have the life gained for each enemy hit by your attacks mod, which comes from an Elder influence base. This mod greatly improves sustain, especially during boss fights. For our belt, we want to get a synthesized belt with increased strength implicit mod. This option is quite pricey but is essential if you want to push your total strength past 2000 giga levels. When looking for a belt, look for strength first, then resistances followed by life. Here we can also craft increased damage mod. Lastly, our gloves. Here we want to prioritize strength, attack speed, resistance, and life. Here we want to craft plus to melee strike range mod. This mod increases our melee strike range, making Molten Strike feel much smoother and improving our clear speed considerably. For our main weapon, we will be using a rare River two-handed sword. Ideally, we will be looking for a base with a fractured flat strength modifier, which can cost around 20 to 30 divs just for the base alone. On top of that, We will prioritize mods such as Flat Strength, increased spell damage which synergizes through Crown of Eyes, flat chaos damage to attacks, increased attack speed, and chance to deal double damage. Crafting a perfect weapon can be extremely expensive and can cost around 30 to 60 divs, excluding the base cost. At the moment, I am personally using a sword with a +2 level of sucketed melee gems, while saving up currency to craft the true endgame version. For our glove Eldritch Implicit, we want to craft non-Val Strike skill target an additional nearby enemy. While you can craft a +2 version, it will cost an immense amount of currency. A +1 is usually enough even for tier 17 maps. This mod significantly increases our clear speed and multiplies our damage output by adding an additional strike, which also triggers Zenith bursts, effectively doubling our burst damage potential. The other implicit we want is increased damage per 100 strength, further amplifying our total damage output. Now for our jewels. We will be using several rare-based jewels focusing on attack speed, resistances, life, and mana reservation efficiency. Attack speed is essentially important as it helps us trigger big balls damage much quicker. Additionally, these jewels are a great way to cap our elemental and chaos resistances. Don't forget to include a corrupted blood cannot be inflicted a new mod as well. Next up, we will be using Watcher's Eye Jewel with the mod Chaos Resistance while affected by Purity of Elements mod. This will greatly help in capping our chaos resistance, making the build much more tankier. We will also be using 2 split personality jewels with strength and life mods. These jewels will give us chest hairs and will be socketed in very specific location on the passive tree, which will be explained in detail later on. We will also be using a lethal Pride Timeless jewel under Kaom conquered by the Karui. With this jewel, we are aiming for 2 to 3 instances of increased strength and ideally 1 instance of gain rage on melee hit. These modifiers significantly increase our DPS. Rage grants us additional attack speed and movement speed, while increased strength continues to push our chaos damage even higher. Lastly, we will be using 3 large cluster jewel with increased damage with 2-handed weapons. Here, we specifically want to find the notables Graceful Execution, Martial Mastery, and Martial Prowess, ideally in that order. This placement ensures that Martial Mastery and Martial Prowess appear at the front side of the cluster, requiring fewer passive points to allocate and greatly improves the efficiency of our passive tree. Martial Mastery provides a significant boost to our attack speed, helping us trigger Zenith faster, while Martial Prowess increases our damage and accuracy. The added accuracy is especially important because it synergizes with the Precise Technique Keystone, ensuring we maintain the accuracy requirement to benefit from the bonus damage. Moving on to our Flask setup, the only mandatory Flask is a Silver Flask to boost our attack speed, helping us reach our burst damage faster. A Life Flask is also good to have for emergency and quick recoveries. Additionally, using resistant flasks such as Ruby, Topaz, or Sapphire Flask can help raise our elemental resistance cap, adding an extra layer of tankiness to the build. An Amethyst Flask is also an option to help cap our chaos resistance, providing further protection against chaos damage threats. Now let's go over our gem setup. Our main skill socketed on our weapon is Molten Strike of the Zenith, linked to Multi-Strike, Crater Multiple Projectiles, Awakened Void Manipulation, Life Tap, and Volatility for bossing or Ancestral Call for mapping. On our gloves, we will socket a Vile Molten Shell linked to cast when damage taken for automation. We can manually activate the Vile version when needed. We will also be using Enduring Cry for strong life regeneration and endurance charge generation. Additionally, we will use Vile Haste, activating the Vile version during boss fights to further boost our attack speed and overall burst damage. On our boots, we will have Blood Rage for additional attack speed and frenzy charge generation, Flesh and Stone in Sun Stance for damage mitigation, and Sniper's Mark linked to Mark on hit to automatically apply the mark to enemies. Sniper's Mark significantly boosts our single target damage by increasing projectile damage and causing projectiles to split, helping to burst down bosses even faster. On our helmet, we will socket Vitality and Purity of Elements, linked to Enlighten level 4. We will also socket Intimidating Cry to apply Intimidate debuff to enemies, causing them to take increased damage, significantly boosting our overall DPS. Purity of Elements grants us complete elemental immunity and boosts our elemental resistances. It also synergizes perfectly with our Watcher's Eye Jewel, which provides additional chaos resistance while affected by Purity of Elements, helping us easily cap our chaos resistance. Lastly, on our body armor, we will socket Leap Slam linked to Momentum, faster attacks, Fortify, and Life Tap. This setup provides fast movement around the map while applying Fortify, granting us extra survivability. We will also socket Dread Banner here for bossing situations. Planting it gives us an additional attack black chance, further boosting our girthiness during tougher fights. Now let's move on to the passive tree and path of building. The POB have been carefully set up to guide progression through key level brackets 30, 50, 60, 80, 90, and 100. This breakdown gives a clear picture of how our skill tree evolves throughout the campaign and into endgame. In here, we want to take time to look at our keystone, accuracy tattoos, split personality, and skill 3 pathing. First, let's go over our keystone. We will be using Point Blank, which increases projectile damage the closer you are to enemies. This is crucial because Molten Strike projectiles hit immediately at close range, massively boosting our damage output when standing right next to enemies. The next keystone is Precise Technique, which grants large more multiplier to attack damage as long as our accuracy rating is higher than our maximum life. This is why we heavily invest into stacking accuracy on both our gear and passive tree to maintain the bonus at all times. Lastly, Iron Will. It allows strength to grant increased spell damage, which is then converted into increased attack damage through Crown of Eyes. This effectively double dips our strength scaling, significantly amplifying our total DPS. Next up is our tattoos. We will allocate accuracy tattoos on our dexterity nodes to further increase our damage output through the Precise Technique keystone. Moving on, Split Personality Jewel scales their bonus based on the distance from the starting point of the passive skill tree. The further away they are socketed, the greater their impact. The distance is determined by the number of allocated passive nodes between the jewel socket and the class starting point. The more nodes it passes through, the greater the bonus from the Split Personality Jewel. And here is why we path like this. By going around and allocating as much passive node as possible, we create a significant distance between the jewel socket and the starting point, maximizing the strength and life bonuses from Split Personality. And that wraps up the Molten Balls Deep Guide. This build will help you go 12-inch elbow deep in endgame. You will jump around hitting your hot balls around enemies. It's chaotic, it's strong, and it's all about stacking so much girth in your character. POB will be written on the description for you guys to access. And stay girthy, exiles.
Your absurd defiance ends here, hatchling.
We will win this together.
Annihilation. The fires of a thousand suns. You do not have the strength, hatchling.
That may be, but I am not alone.
How pathetic. The fires of a thousand suns. Annihilation. Improbable.
Until the others arrive to